Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we are tackling a really fascinating figure. We're charting the career of Neil Patrick Harris.
Yeah, and it's quite the undertaking.
It really is. I mean, when you look at his resume, it's not just that he's done different things in media.
No, it feels like he's truly conquered almost every single one.
Exactly. Actor, singer, writer, producer.
Magician, don't forget magician, and of course the master of ceremonies for seemingly every awards show.
Right. So the challenge for us today, and for you listening, is to understand how that happened.
Yeah.
How does someone go from being, America's favorite teenage doctor
The ultimate symbol of sincerity, really.
to this boundary-pushing stage actor, a super sharp, satirical comedian, and, the guy hosting the Tonys and the Emmys?
It's a trajectory for you, man. I mean, pulling off that kind of transition across TV, film, stage, and hosting, it's rare.
And the awards prove it right. We're talking to Tony, 5 Primetime Emmys for performing and hosting, a Grammy nod.
It's that sheer breadth and the level of success in each field simultaneously. That's what we really need to unpack today. How did he pull it off?
Okay, so let's start at the beginning. We think of him as this New York or L.A. figure, but his roots are actually in the Southwest, Albuquerque, New Mexico, born June 15th, 1973.
Right, but raised mostly in Ruidoso, a smaller town. And, his family background is pretty unique for a future performer.
How so?
Well, both parents were lawyers, which is already, quite intense.
Definitely.
But they also owned and ran a restaurant. So you've got this mix of, serious professional discipline from the law side.
And the chaos and hard work of the service industry on the other.
Exactly. You can sort of see how that might instill a pretty intense work ethic early on.
That discipline showed up academically, too, right? The sources mention he graduated high school with high honors in '91.
Yeah, from La Cueva High School.
Huh.
And he apparently credited private tutoring he got while already working on set for keeping his grades up.
So even as a young actor, he was juggling both and doing well at them. That's telling.
Very. And his discovery story is almost like something out of a movie itself.
Oh, yeah.
He was spotted by playwright Mark Medoff, a Pulitzer nominee, at a drama camp down in Las Cruces.
Wow. So Medoff saw something special.
Apparently so. That connection led pretty directly to his first big film role, Clara's Heart, in 1988. He was starring opposite Whoopi Goldberg.
And that role got noticed immediately. His first Golden Globe nomination in '89, that's huge for a debut.
It really is. But then, of course, came the role that defined him for a whole generation.
Doogie Howser.
Doogie Howser, MD.
Yeah. Yeah.
ABC, 1989 to 1993. Child prodigy doctor. It wasn't just a hit show. It was a cultural moment.
Got him a second Golden Globe nomination. But, the child star problem.
Exactly. The show ends in 93. He's not the kid doctor anymore. Well, now that transition is famous and brutal.
So the grind began. What did that look like?
Well, the sources show it wasn't straight to big movie roles. It was a lot of legwork, guest spots on TV shows like Murder, She Wrote.
Really?
Murder, She Wrote.
Okay.
Yeah. And tons of made-for-TV movies. Things like Snowbound in 94, The Christmas Wish in 98. Just constant work, keeping his face out there, trying to break the Doogie mold.
Paying the dues, essentially.
Totally. His first adult film role, Animal Room in 95, he was still playing a teen, but then he started getting into bigger studio stuff.
Like Starship Troopers?
Right. In 97, playing Carl Jenkins, the psychic guy. A very different vibe. And then the next best thing with Madonna in 2000.
So dipping his toes into different genres.
Trying to, yeah. But the real key during this period, the thing that set up his huge comeback later, it wasn't the movies.
It was the stage.
Absolutely. He jumped into theater. He knew, I think, that it offered the kind of challenge and credibility he needed to be seen as a serious adult actor.
So what were the big stage roles, though?
He played Mark Cohen in the national tour of Rent in 1997. That's a demanding show, vocally and physically, a huge statement.
And not exactly light fare.
Not at all. Then he did a recording of Sondheim's Evening Primrose in 2001, played Hal in the Broadway run of Proof in 2002. He was building serious stage cred.
Forcing people to see him differently.
Precisely. And all that culminated in 2003 with a role that was, transformative, playing the MC in the Broadway revival of Cabaret.
Wow. Talk about the opposite of Doogie Howser. Dark, complex.
Totally. And he crushed it. Critics loved him, and the sources say he became the biggest box office draw in that role during his run.
So even before his next huge TV hit, he was already a proven A-list stage star.
That's the crucial takeaway. That stage success gave him the leverage, the credibility, to really steer his career in the direction he wanted next. The stage was like the launch pad for Act Two.
And Act Two, wow, it really blasted off with Barney Stinson, didn't it? How I Met Your Mother, CBS, 2005 to 2014.
Oh, completely. 208 episodes. It totally redefined him for a massive audience. Talk about a 180 from Doogie.
From the earnest kid doctor, too.
Well, Barney. The ultimate bro, the serial womanizer, suit up. It was genius casting, really. And it let him flex all those comedic muscles he'd honed on stage.
The physical comedy, the timing.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
And the industry agreed. 4 Emmy nominations in a row for that role, 2007 through 2010. That tells you how central he was to that show's success.
And he even dipped his toes into directing on the show, right?
Yeah, he directed one episode, Jenkins, which is interesting, right? Even at the peak of his sitcom fame, he's already thinking about other aspects, production, directing.
Always looking ahead. Diversifying.
Seems like it. But what's also fascinating about this period is what he was doing in film at the same time.
Right.
That persona he created.
Oh, the Harold and Kumar version of Neil Patrick Harris.
Exactly. Starting with White Castle in 2004, then the sequels, playing this totally exaggerated, lewd, womanizing version of himself.
It was hilarious, but also really smart, wasn't it? Like a way to control his own image.
Totally strategic. He basically took the audience's perception, maybe some leftover Doogie vibes, and just blew it up. It was self-parody.
And incredibly, he did this before he publicly came out in 2006. Playing this hyper-straight caricature.
Right. It was like he was saying, look, I can play anything. He completely owned the narrative about himself. It was kind of brilliant and maybe paved the way for people to accept him in any role afterwards.
And he wasn't just sticking to TV and film. This is when he made that move into, well, what we now call streaming.
Dr. Horrible's Sing-Along Blog, 2008, Joss Whedon's web series musical.
Which was huge.
Yeah.
And so ahead of its time.
Absolutely. A professionally produced musical released online when that was still kind of the Wild West. It showed he was willing to experiment with new platforms, not just chase network gigs.
Again, avoiding being put in a box.
Seems to be the theme. And this versatility extended to voice acting, too. He was doing a lot of that.
Right, like Steve the Monkey in Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
Yep, and Nightwing in Batman, Under the Red Hood. A serious DC animated role.
And didn't he do a musical Batman thing, too?
Yes. The Music Meister in Batman, the brave and the bold. That episode is legendary among fans, using those musical theater chops again, but in animation.
So you got Barney Stinson, the satirical NPH, Dr. Horrible, cartoon villains. And wasn't he on Sesame Street around then, too?
He was, in 2008, as the Sesame Street fairy shoe person.
Okay, the range is just wild.
It really is. But through all this mainstream success, all these different projects, he never let go of the stage.
Still doing serious theater.
Absolutely. Balancing the sitcom with really demanding roles. Like in 2004, he did Sondheim's Assassins on Broadway, playing 2 roles, the Balladeer and Lee Harvey Oswald.
Wow, that's heavy stuff.
Deep Sondheim, yeah. And then in 2005, he starred in the London premiere of Tick, Tick, Boom, playing John.
Keeping that connection to serious musical theater alive.
Exactly, signaling that even as a huge TV star, the stage was still vital to him. And I remember that directing credit on HIYM, he expanded on that too. He directed a production of Rent at the Hollywood Bowl in 2010, and he cast Vanessa Hudgens, who he'd worked with in the movie Beastly.
So mentoring, directing, performing, producing. This decade, 2004 to 2014, it wasn't just about AKM. It was about leveraging that visibility to conquer, well, everything else. And that incredible momentum led him straight into becoming, like, the undisputed king of hosting, right?
Yeah, that ability to command a live, high-pressure event became a huge part of his brand. He took those performance skills and applied them to hosting in a way few others could.
The Tony Awards specifically, he hosted them 4 times.
4 times. 2009, 2011, 2012, 2013. The only person who's hosted more is Angela Lansbury. That says a lot about how the Broadway world saw him.
Wow. And he did the Emmys, too.
Twice, 2009 and 2013, and then the big one.
The Oscars, 2015.
Yep. But here's the really crucial thing to understand about his hosting. It wasn't just that he was popular. He was winning awards for hosting.
Right. Emmys specifically for the Tony hosting gigs.
Exactly. 4 primetime Emmys just for hosting the Tonys. 2010, 2012, 2013, 2014. That's huge. It validates the hosting itself as a distinct achievement. He basically brought Broadway showmanship, the singing, the dancing, the timing, to the awards show format and elevated it.
And it wasn't just the big three award shows either.
No, he did the TV Land Awards, the Spike Video Game Awards. He became the reliable go-to guy for any big live event that needed energy and structure.
But even while ruling the hosting world, he went back to the stage for what many consider his absolute peak performance.
Hedwig and the Angry Inch.
On Broadway. That must have been intense.
Unbelievably intense. He took on the title role in the first ever Broadway production of that show, starting in March 2014.
And Hedwig is. I mean, it's a demanding role, physically and emotionally.
Totally. Rock vocals, intense movement, carrying this incredibly complex, tragic, funny character for the whole show. It required a complete transformation.
How did people react?
Critics were blown away. Variety called it an astonishing physical performance, comparing him to Iggy Pop and Lou Reed. It was the ultimate proof that he was far, far more than Barney Stinson.
And it paid off. He won the Tony for it.
2014 Tony Award for Best Leading Actor in a Musical. It was like the final jewel in his Broadway crown. Solidified him as a truly serious, risk-taking stage actor.
But then he left the show relatively quickly, didn't he? August 2014.
Yeah, he cited wanting to spend more time with his family, which, fits that pattern of balancing work and life, but maybe also avoiding getting stuck. Avoiding burnout after such an intense role.
That idea of avoiding repetition. It came up again around late-night TV, right?
It did. There were reports that he was in the running or maybe even turned down offers to replace Letterman or Craig Ferguson.
A gig most stars would kill for.
Right. But the reason cited was his fear of the nightly grind, the repetition of doing a talk show every single day.
Did he ever confirm that?
He later clarified she wasn't officially offered either job, but that, there were conversations about his interest level. But that core feeling, the fear of repetition, seems genuine.
It's interesting because hosting the Tonys 4 times has its own kind of repetition.
True, but maybe it's the difference between a huge annual event you can really prepare for and craft versus the relentless daily churn of late night. He seems drawn to unique, challenging projects, not necessarily the comfortable long run.
And this whole period, his influence was really peaking. He made Time Magazine's 100 Most Influential People list in 2010.
Yeah, and that wasn't just about acting. It was about his whole cultural footprint, the versatile performer, the visible gay man thriving in the mainstream. It was a big moment.
Okay, so post-Oscars, post-Hedwig, what's the next chapter? It seems like he shifts focus again more towards creating his own stuff.
Exactly. Less performing in other people's projects, more becoming a writer and producer, building his own IP.
Starting with his memoir in 2014.
Neil Patrick Harris. Choose your own autobiography. And even that wasn't standard. The format itself was innovative.
The choose your own adventure style. That's very him.
Right. Taking a familiar format and putting his unique, playful spin on it. And it worked. Hit the bestseller list.
And then he leaned into his love of magic for another writing project.
Yeah, the Magic Misfits series, young adult novel starting in 2017. The sources list 4 books. It's him building a whole world based on something he's genuinely passionate about.
So, author. And then he got into board games.
Sort of. He released Box 1 in 2020. It's described as a single-player board game, but it's really more like an escape room in a box.
Oh, interesting. Interactive.
Very. Uses physical puzzles, digital elements. It's another example of him finding a new creative outlet, leveraging his interests in magic and puzzles into a totally different kind of product. Again, avoiding repetition, tackling game design.
Meanwhile, his acting career didn't stop. He jumped heavily into streaming.
Big time. Playing Count Olaf in Netflix's A Series of Unfortunate Events from 2017 to 2019. And he was a producer on that, too.
Olaf seems like a perfect role for him, actually, all those disguises.
Exactly. Constant variety built into the character. It prevented him from being stuck playing the same note. Then he did another Netflix show, Uncoupled, in 2022.
Right, playing a gay man, navigating dating in middle age. He was an executive producer on that one, too.
Yeah, and that felt significant, using his star power to center a mature LGBTQ story, showing commitment to that kind of representation.
The sheer variety of roles in recent years is kind of staggering, though. Serious drama.
Like playing Desi Collins in Gone Girl back in 2014. Very creepy, very different.
Big sci-fi.
The Analyst in the Matrix Resurrections in 2021.
Acclaimed international TV.
It's a Sin in 2021, the British series about the AIDS crisis. A really powerful, dramatic role.
And then something totally different again with Doctor Who.
Yeah, The Toymaker in the 60th anniversary special in 2023. Super flamboyant, villainous, memorable.
And he even popped back up as Barney briefly.
Just for 2 episodes in How I Met Your Father in 2023. A little nod to the past, but not a full commitment. Very strategic.
Plus, more Sondheim with Into the Woods at Encores in 2022. It's like he's deliberately touching base with every single part of the industry. Blockbusters, streaming, indie drama, YA books, games, Broadway.
He's refusing to be categorized. That seems to be the driving force now.
So, to really understand the MPH brand, we have to look at how his personal life intersects with all this.
Yeah.
Especially his journey with his sexuality.
Absolutely. And it seems he was quite self-aware early on. He talked about dating Christine Taylor back in the late 90s.
Right, and saying that relationship helped him realize he was gay. Like, if it wasn't clicking with her...
It probably means I'm gay.
Yeah.
Him. That kind of introspection seems typical of how he approaches things.
Which led to him coming out publicly in November 2006.
And the timing, again, is fascinating. He's starring as Barney Stinson, Mr. Hetero, on a huge sitcom.
And he just puts it out there. I am a very content gay man living my life to the fullest.
It was a powerful moment. It kind of challenged audiences, showing that an actor's identity doesn't have to limit their roles.
And his relationship with David Burtka has been very public since 2004.
Very. They've become this really visible couple, and their journey to marriage was tied into the fight for marriage equality.
They got engaged years before they announced it.
Yeah, proposed to each other way back, but waited until the Marriage Equality Act passed in New York in 2011 to make it public on Twitter. A real statement.
And they had their twins, Gideon and Harper, via surrogacy in 2010.
Right. Then they finally got married in Italy in 2014. Pamela Fryman, the HIMYM director, officiated.
Elton John performed. Pretty epic wedding.
Cemented them as this major Hollywood family. They even sold their Harlem townhouse for nearly $7 million in 2022. So, they're doing okay.
Seems like it. Now let's talk magic, because this isn't just a minor hobby for him.
Oh no, he's a serious magic enthusiast, especially card magic, performance magic.
And he brings it into his work, right?
Whoa.
Barney did magic, his character on American Horror Story did.
Yeah. Even on Glee, he weaves it in. It's part of his toolkit. And the magic community recognizes his dedication. He won the Tannen's Magic Louie Award in 2006, hosted the World Magic Awards.
And he was president of the Magic Castle.
President of the board of directors, yeah. From
Right.
2011 to 2014. That's a serious leadership role in the heart of the magic world. He really commits.
Okay, and philanthropy, where does he focus his efforts?
A lot of it aligns with his life and career. LGBTQ causes, AIDS research and support, organizations like the Trevor Project, AIDS Healthcare Foundation, Elton John AIDS Foundation, Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS.
Makes sense. Connecting his platform to causes he cares about.
Yeah, and he even did that fashion collaboration with Ron Dorff, donating proceeds to World Central Kitchen, using his brand for charitable work, too.
We also need to touch on that controversy that resurfaced, the Amy Winehouse incident from 2011.
Right, the Halloween party where that unfortunate meat platter resembling her corpse was served not long after her death.
He came back up in 2022, and he apologized publicly then.
Yeah. It's kind of a stark reminder of the tightrope walk involved in having that edgy, satirical persona he cultivated. Sometimes the irony or the boundary pushing can cross a line into poor taste or insensitivity. It shows how hard it is to manage that kind of complex public image 24/7. #tag outro.
So, wrapping this all up, looking back at this incredible career, the real aha moment for me is just the sheer audacity of the reinvention.
Right.
Going from duty to Hedwig is one thing, but doing that
Right.
while also becoming the face of the Tony Awards, pioneering web series like Dr. Horrible, writing best-selling kids' books, it's mind-boggling. He just never stayed still.
Never. And I think the synthesized takeaway, the core of his success, is this mastery of perception. He learned how to play with how people saw him.
How do you mean?
Well, first he needed to break the Doogie image, so he embraces this wild, satirical version of himself in Harold and Kumar to show he's in on the joke, that he's got edge.
Right, the self-parody.
Yeah. Then he uses these incredibly demanding stage roles, Cabaret, Hedwig, to prove his serious acting talent beyond any doubt. Real artistic credibility.
And then uses the fame from Him and hosting.
To bring his niche passions like magic or deep cut musical theater or even puzzle games to a huge audience. He's like the ultimate popularizer of cool, slightly nerdy things. He makes the niche mainstream through his own broad appeal.
He's a curator, like you said. Which brings us to our final thought for you, the listener. We know he fears repetition. He's conquered TV acting, film acting, Broadway, hosting, writing, producing, even game design.
Pretty much every corner of entertainment.
So the question is,
Yeah.
what's left? Is he constantly hunting for that next totally new medium or format to master? We know he's got roles coming up in Dexter. Resurrection, and a Deadpool VR game.
Which are still within acting, mostly.
Exactly. So where does the multi-hyphenate magician go next, when he seems to have already done it all? What's the ultimate non-repetitive challenge for NPH?
Something for you to ponder until our next deep dive.